So now, back to our official program. It is my pleasure to introduce a special presentation called Apprenticeship, Our Competitive Advantage. And I'd like to invite Kevin Evans to host the discussion. Kevin, of course, is a director on the CAF board, but he is also the CEO of the Industry Training Authority here in British Columbia. Kevin?
Thank you very much, Cindy. And good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. And if I could ask my panelists to join us here on stage. And as they're doing so, let me welcome you as the host apprenticeship system to beautiful British Columbia, fabulous Victoria, and these posh hotels we're staying in. I don't know about you, but we're staying at the Empress. What a hotel. I always tell a good hotel by the towels, and the towels at the Empress are such that you can barely close your suitcase. That's a posh hotel. Now, I was reminded, listening to Minister Solberg and the comments, that what a spectacular time it is for those of you who have been involved in the apprenticeship training world for many, many years. Can you think of a better time than right now to be involved in this kind of work? And at the same time, can you think of a more urgent time where this work was more important? I believe that you can. That this work today is vital. And that in that sense, this occasion, this gathering of the apprenticeship community throughout Canada should be, must be, a watershed meeting where we come together, we learn best practices, and we come out of this gathering energized and spreading the word of apprenticeship and the vital role it plays and needs to play in our economies. And I think it couldn't be more perfect that we start this conference by not talking about apprenticeship as some concept or some series of statistics, but we talk about apprenticeship as what it really is, and that's apprentices. Present, past, and future. In our panel, we don't have any future apprentices, but we have a couple of current and a couple of past apprentices as well. And our object in the next couple of minutes is to share for you and for our podcast audience in the months to come, what is this thing called apprenticeship? Why do people choose this life? What are the opportunities? What are the barriers? Why do we need more apprentices? People who call themselves apprentices. So let me begin introducing our panelists, and I'm going to ask each of them a very quick question by way of introduction, and then we're going to get into what's going to be more of a conversation than a series of interviews. So first of all, Julian Rorick, 22 years old, from Hornby Island, and if you've never been to Hornby Island off the coast of BC, you got to go there. It's 6-gilled sharks, sea lions. It's a fabulous place to go. You are taking welding at Camosun College. How did you get into welding? You're 22 years old. You've got the whole world in front of you. You could do a million things. Why welding?
The employment opportunity was available, and right out of high school, that's what was important for me. So.
Now, you chose a career as well in the skilled trades. It could have been carpentry. I know you were looking at carpentry for a while. You have an uncle who was suggesting you should have been a carpenter. How did you end up though in welding?
I'd actually done heavy-duty mechanics, carpentry, and welding. Welding is just what I chose because I really enjoy doing it.
Now, you went up to Fort McMurray for a while.
Fort St. John.
Fort St. John. Fort St. John. Oh, that's much better than Fort McMurray. It's far north, it's cold, and there's lots of money there. And you just went looking for a job. Tell me what happened.
I found a job immediately, and I wound up being a welder's helper. And I stuck with it, and now I'm a registered apprentice in my first year.
Now, somebody at that point had to say, hey, Julian, you're pretty good at doing this. Have you ever thought about making it as a career? What did you think when somebody first suggested that to you? You just went up looking for a job. Enough money to buy a truck, no doubt, or something.
Yes. I don't know, I just spent a lot of hours talking with people in the field, and I was encouraged by a lot of other tradesmen, and it wasn't a difficult decision to make.
Now, you were telling me earlier that you had a role model. Well, you've had several, but you had one role model who was a boss of yours several years ago. Tell us a bit about that.
You mean to do with?
The construction worker who was in university? And
yes. He brought forward the importance of education and practical work experience, and he explained how it was important to go to your post-secondary school and follow up with the practical work. And I looked up to him because he's extremely successful because of that. He's a biologist, and he did his carpentry courses over the summer while he's out of school, and he now owns a very successful construction company. So I think that's something to look up to.
Look up to and set very high sights. What are you setting your sights for in a couple of years from now? You're going to own your own company?
Yes, I'm looking to own my own welding business, and that's just the beginning.
You want to tell us just the beginning?